Hi, this is Hamlet with Webucator. In this video, I'm going to show you a solution that Jensen Abraham came up with for animated scroll loading effects with animated.css and jQuery. Jensen agreed to let us create this video showing his solution, which is available as an article here on his blog at the URL shown here. Now, before digging into the code, I want to show you what the effect actually looks like on a web page. What I'm going to do is scroll down in the tutorial page and go and click on the demo button. And this shows me different variations of the same tutorial. So on demo 1, which is the default one, you'll notice that as I scroll down, content fades in to the web page. If I go back up and check out the second variation of the demo, you can easily see how as I scroll down, content flies in from the left into the center of the page. Very cool. So let's see how that is done with, again, animated.css, jQuery, and some HTML markup. This is probably a good time to mention that CSS Animate is just that, a CSS file that contains a library of CSS animation effects. On the other hand, the jQuery viewport checker is a little jQuery script that checks if an HTML DOM element is in the viewport and then adds a class to it. We'll see how that works in a second. Let's go ahead and download the class files. Or I should say, let's download the demo files. So here it is. It's in a zip, so I'm going to unzip it. And you can see it has 6 different index.html files. And then on the assets directory, it includes our animate.css and our viewport checker.js. Those are the 2 files that work all the magic. So let's go ahead and open up our HTML file with Dreamweaver. Here you go. And the first thing you'll notice is right here on line 10 where animate.css is being included. And then I'm going to skip through all the DOM for now. And all the way towards the bottom of the body, you'll see my JavaScript is being included. First, the jQuery JavaScript file itself, and then the viewport checker.js file. Now, on line 132 through 139, it's all we need to do in order to make this animation effect, once we have, of course, included the proper JavaScript and CSS files. But let's do this. What I'm going to do is simply delete this for now. I'm going to save it and I'm going to view it in Google Chrome. And you'll see it's the same file as shown earlier. And you'll see that the effect does not happen. Now if I go back to Dreamweaver and I undo my deletion, and then I'm going to include the files but do nothing with them, reload my Chrome, you'll see that the effect still is not happening. So the bulk of the tutorial, it's right here on lines 133 through 138. So what is happening here? First, you'll notice here that once the document is ready for jQuery to work its magic, as shown here on line 133, then on line 134, it queries all elements with a class name of post. Let's look at that in the markup. You see here this div starting on 116, how it has a class post, then the same thing for 110, and the same thing on this div here on 104, and so on. So each of these paragraphs have a class name of post. And so jQuery is grabbing all those divs and then it's adding a class named hidden. Now the class name hidden, just by the name itself, you can probably figure out that it's simply hiding via CSS these elements. And if we look at demo.css and we look for the hidden class, I'm going to do a simple control find here. You'll notice that my opacity is 0, essentially hiding anything with that class. And then, by the way, you also notice that there's a visible class which has the opacity as 1, essentially showing any elements with that class. So going back to my HTML markup, again, we grab all these divs of class post, we add a class to them called hidden, which hides them, and then we invoke this viewport checker. And viewport checker is of course from viewportchecker.js, which is here. And this is the nifty little function that checks our viewport. And then back here in my HTML on line 135, we tell the script which CSS classes we want to add. We want to make it visible. We want to make it animated, so that animate.css is triggered. And then the actual animation that we want is fade in. You'll notice on animate.css, when we open it, it has all these different animations: flash, shake, bounce, tada, swing, and so on. There's a whole wide range of them. Alright, so back here, I'm going to save my file. Actually, I'm going to, here on line 130, add my HTTP protocol, because I am now viewing this in my local browser without a server, so it needs this HTTP protocol. And now when I view that in Google Chrome, if I refresh my Chrome page, scroll up, actually let me refresh it one more time, you'll see here the effect. And that is pretty much it. I hope you enjoy this short tutorial and hope you find it helpful.